it's very basic, right? You don't need to think about it too much.
Yeah. Pop off the combination. It also had a Beatrix paired up with it. So, as expected, as long as Yawi got them hooks, got the catches, Echo will get the kills. I like how the batting phase is going on right now, still respecting each other's strengths. With Echo taking out the Joy, actually, that means Bren Esports will have to consider another ban. Either a Glue or an Arlod, potentially a Valentina. But nope, Bren says, yeah, we don't want to go up against the Tanxalot as a first, because that is a first pickable hero. And with the Lancelot gone, Echo picks up the Fredrin. Best jungle options for Bren left will be either the Hayabusa, the Akai, or maybe even the Martis. Usually that's the face-off that we see against a Fredrin in the jungle. But Bren Esports can still prioritize the power picks in the Glue, the Valentina. If they want to, they can also pick up the Kadita for themselves, actually. Kadita Franco for themselves, maybe not now, but they will have to watch out for a potential Franco pickup by Echo later on, considering that the three heroes that I mentioned, with one of them being the Hayabusa, I'm pretty sure Echo's thinking about that.
Okay, seems a fair choice for Bren Esports on their first two picks. Franco, either they take it or let Echo take it. But on the XP line, this is their priority, the Theramis and the Glue.
Yes, of course. If you pick up the Glue, you have to pick up the Theramis with that as well. You don't want the Theramis to go on your opposing side, so... yeah, most likely this is gonna. They can go Claude here right now, Echo, actually. Either Claude and carry, but the Claude is just so good against a Theramis and against a Glue. But it's an Eve and a Lapu Lapu.
Ooh. They're going full comfort right now. This is an Echo lineup that we have seen time and time again, especially in the regular season. So this is a big switch up from what we saw in the first game, where we weren't really sure how things are going to play out.
Yeah, I will be honest, I disagree with the ordering, but when you mentioned Rock Hard, Comfort is like, all right, okay, it makes sense. It's what they like to do, and that's what they're feeling, and sometimes really that is the case for the pros, even though it doesn't seem like the order is right, just because they're very comfortable with it and they want it secured for themselves. It's a much better value to go for and chase. So, Bren Esports will pick up, as expected, the Hayabusa.
Okay.
They're going to be going for mobility up against the Eve. With a lineup that has one static player, you want the Hayabusa to be the one chasing after that, and potentially the Marksman. Bren Esports, they'll either... I'd want to see them just go ban out the Claude and carry,
there's an
or
Eve.
maybe open up the Claude. But the Claude and Hayabusa together means Bren Esports needs to control the tempo of the game, keep it close, or they go for like an early 2-3k gold lead. That's why they take away the Kufra.
We're expecting for the two Marksman
Good ban,
bans,
good
but
ban
yeah,
there by
it's a good
Echo.
ban from Echo. They don't want that, they don't want that possible threat. So now with the Kufra, will they still trim down heroes of Yaoi now? Because we were talking about the Franco that could still be of use for Echo.
Coming down the wire here, especially in terms of marksman, I think, because with the Claude ban, Supermarco might just be left with a carry if, for example, Benicuti decides he wants to pick up a Beatrix or a Melissa.
Yes.
So either way, they also have very shared hero pools as well in the marksman in the gold lane.
Yeah. And I won't be surprised if there will not be no one's gonna pick up Atlas here for Bren.
Yeah.
Atlas does look like an option for Echo though. It might actually be good. As Bren Esports takes away the Hilda, it's just safety. You don't want to go up against a Hilda if you're an assassin jungle. Olaiko takes away the Melissa. This opens up the carry for Bren Esports. They can pick it here and then just pick the Roamer as their last. However, we still have to consider that this Theramis might be the Roamer, and then Bren Esports will draft another mid laner later on, just so that they can have more magic damage, because that's what they're lacking right now, magic. Speaking of, Supermarco, if he feels like it, he could go Nathan, but it doesn't seem like
I love
the
that.
safest choice.
The Nathan pick has been played around by a lot of teams, or they've been thinking about playing it.
Yeah.
And the times that it did come out in the regular season, it felt kind of hard. So I wonder if this is the time to do it.
Maybe.
I mean, the Minstar Gold Lane, man, we saw that yesterday. When I saw that, I thought anything can happen in this playoffs.
Yeah, either one of them could pick it it up, but we haven't seen a win
There's still a
that here. But the Beatrix goes back to Supermarco this time.
And that forces the carry onto Benny Cutie, I think. Unless you want to pick Brody, which might not be the most optimal pick in this case.
Unless Echo really just wants to make sure that he has a stun for her. Because we know kyletzy is just going to be looking for Benny. Or late entry Benny and Sanji and just look for them. Brody might be safe. Oh, nice swing there.
Okay.
Against a Faramis, Akai is a beautiful pickup. Although this still might even be a Roma Kai. It doesn't necessarily need to be a jungle. Oh, it's a Lunox!
Lunox gold lane there.
Okay.
Coming in from Echo.
This is mid to late game. Echo's going to be buying time while Bren Esports, they scale a little bit faster depending on the early game performance of a Hayabusa. Mid-lane here will be crucial. Farsa is not a good option here. They might even be thinking, this is going to be a different mid laner.
Did we just run out of like really good gold mid lane picks here?
Yeah, they went in for the magic instead.
Man.
I like the Lunox pickup though, honestly, because he's up against a Hayabusa. At least he can just use the brilliance to get on out of there. And then also avoid potentially getting grabbed by the glue.
Atlas is still a possibility.
Makes sense because if you're up against an early game Hayabusa, that's deadly. But Lolita,
Alright.
okay.
Their own pickup.
So will this answer the missing puzzles of Bren Esports to go up against Echo's flexibility on their picks?
It's just good that they have the Lolita for the ultimate. Of course, it helps control the team fight. Considering that they're up against a real world manipulation, Bren Esports having a big fanning ultimate for themselves that's good for controlling will help keep the team fight a little bit more balanced instead of it just being so good for Echo because they have a real world manipulation.
Makes sense.
With a lineup like that, though, they have to be a bit more proactive because from my experience being a Lolita, every time I charge it up and there's a Kai ready to push me out or a Lapu-Lapu that's
Get pushed back.
you're going to get pushed back. You're going to get that ultimate canceled. So you have to start it off early and get your team in a good position, momentum-wise.
You don't want to waste it.
And Brent drafted themselves in this position because they have an assassin jungler. They needed to pick a tankier roamer, someone who can give a little bit of shield, which is of course the Lolita, because you can't put the Faramis in the roam. That would have been way too much pressure for flaptzy's glue. He's already up against a Lunox.
Yeah. All points lead to Bren Esports, and how will they execute this one? Let's see. Let's leave it out to the pros on how they want to do this up against Echo. It's game number 2, and we're going for a start. Early invades, though, from Bren Esports here. Eyes on Yawi and kyletzy on this purple.
There's a proactiveness that we are looking for here for Bren, but they're having a hard time finding a way or an entrance to disrupt the jungler of Echo, where we see Sanji and Sanford actually securing both major entrances into the jungle.
Good zoning out and good pressure showed up by Bren. So members of the two teams recognize the importance of the scaling of the two junglers. kyletzy would want to be relatively safe. He cannot suffer 2 deaths early. 1 may be recoverable, but even that is already quite a tall order. That's how fickle sometimes Hayabusa pickup is, but kyletzy had a monster performance as a Hayabusa yesterday up against Blacklist International. Talented is a young man in that hero.
Yeah, give them a W. Just that on. So now this could be a threat for Echo if they want to see this. But this Lunox pick really is a good choice if you want to be in your gold lane right now.
It's really good in terms of matchup, I think, because he is going to have some versatility in terms of how he wants to handle that gold lane. So we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out, as we do see, again, Bren Esports, they're trying to be as aggressive as they possibly can with the lineup. But Echo, they have other plans. Now they have kyletzy and Sanford on the side, Sanji as well. Basically have good coverage, which means they secure that turtle.
You know what's interesting? This actually empowers kyletzy and Sanford, considering that
Those are big openings being forced out, and Sanji has it boxed in with a real-world manipulation. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. There's the heavy spin that is a bane to all Lolita players all around the world. And we do see that Sanford and Sanji, they're not done. They're going to take out Few as well as owgwen. That's a double for the XP laner of Echo.
This is one classic Yaoi that we're seeing back in Akai, and we have thought it could be in the jungler, but no, this is one deadly Akai. Going back to this instant replay, that was two members of Bren Esports falling down.
Yeah, it was great positioning by Yaoi, and of course the decision for Sanford to go for that. As I was mentioning earlier, because Echo has a lineup with an Eve and a Lunox, it forces Bren to draft more magic defense items in the Radiant Armor and the Athena shields, which means Sanford and kyletzy, if they can get their items relatively quickly, and that's why that double kill for Sanford early was so good, then Bren Esports will be eating a chunk of physical damage that they don't have defense for just yet.
And Few's Cult Altar was on cooldown, so they had the knowledge of that, and they played knowing that Few will not be able to save his members.
Yeah, the skill counting by Echo was really good there. Pressure Bren in that scenario.
Good timing as well, but now eyes on the goal lane. Supermarco, Yaoi's here!
Oh, they're on the bottom. That's a very early Cult Altar coming in from the captain of Bren Esports. Not going to be enough to save Supermarco in the end. And while all that's happening, kyletzy also steals a purple buff away from the Hayabusa.
Oh, you don't want to see that. And you know, seeing this Akai and Lunox together, I was feeling, why does this feel so familiar? Oh, right. Yaoi and Exort loved this combination in MPL Philippines Season 7 when they were still with Next Play. It wasn't even Next Play Evos yet.
Flap.
Still Next Play.
Yeah, flaptzy.
Low mana.
And just trying to
regen.
survive. This is every lane of Bren Esports, and flaptzy is included in that. Has to use the ultimate to get out.
On TZ violence. Carl. Seems like this could be a... Oh no, Bren will be able to contest. owgwen just needs to time the ultimate really well, and alongside with the entry of kyletzy on the Hayabusa, this is a good reset by Echo.
It's a good one. So owgwen needs to have more eyes on how these two members of Echo can disrupt his ultimate, because that only thing that counts is one great setup that he can use. Oh, Yaoi, Supermarco.
Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Echo does not have the firepower to actually handle this, and Yaoi almost got taken out there. Here's the Numenal Blast that forces the flicker out of the Yaoi. And Bren, they're starting to get some momentum here on the bottom side of the map, and on the mid, they're trying to play it more defensive.
Okay.
kyletzy just picked up a Hunter Strike.
Supermarco.
Oh, look at that. Look at Carl on the back. Oh, beautiful combo with a Benecutie. Make sure that they take down Supermarco as well.
Yeah, this is why the Lunox Golden was so good alongside the rest of the Echo picks. This is because they can go for, in English, sour dives.
Sour dives.
Like, with just the right amount of sourness that looks like it's risky, but it works.
Yeah, I remember you rapping that. You're looking kind of sour, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even referring to that.
That's exactly it.
For the callback.
And that was Echo you were rapping for. So now there's all one thing that they need to do. It's a good kind of sour. So if they keep on doing that, they're forcing out of something from each other. Look at just the items here. Hayabusa is just on the Hunter Strike up against kyletzy. So more tankiness from Yaoi. Your spot one.
Oh, Yaoi! He reads that owgwen was there. That was a beautiful read coming in from the roamer of Echo. owgwen trying to counter it with a Numenal Blast, but will still get taken out by Sanji in the end. What a beautiful play from the Echo trio on the bottom.
Either that was a beautiful read by Yaoi or Benecutie giving Yaoi the information that I have a feeling this Lolita's right here.
Feel it.
And it's not Bren having a good night. It's Echo right now on a roll.
Absolutely. The bottom side. That was actually all there is. Actually, it's very important, right? You have to know the communications. Who has the better comms? That actually dictates on who can execute better in these team fights. And so far, it has been Echo time and time again.
Okay, so now Bren would really want to have a good set here. They have the glue, they have the Lolita, all they need is the timing. They don't need to be forced most of the time as Yaoi keeps on engaging. It's one thing. They can force out of the other. Overload could be the key here if someone blinks in those kind of skirmishes.
Echo right now, they're feeling it. They look mad. They look like they've learned. They look, I won't just say mad, they look pissed off. They're in this scenario in the lower bracket, and right now Bren is in the receiving end of their anger. Echo in the zone, in control, making the right calls, the right plays, not giving Bren Esports any room to breathe. All minion waves handled well. Forces a 4-man defense in mid just to make sure Echo doesn't open up the mid lane. But Echo, because of that, in that scenario where you see 4 members of an opposing team defending one turret, usually the mid, that means one side turret will fall and Echo get that. Blade armor already built up by kyletzy, lightning truncheon, the second main item that BennyBD was able to build.
Bren right now just basically in survival mode with small pickups being attempted by kyletzy on the Hayabusa, but again, they're not really making that big of an impact, or at least enough impact for them to turn the tides.
Exactly.
Benny!
Oh, Benny's on the side, doesn't really need to do any big plays as of yet. And that's just Echo exerting dominance on the jungle of Bren.
But just looking at the pushes that Echo is doing right now, they're forcing Bren Esports just to answer with the clears and guide their turrets. Most of their ways is just the mid, but kyletzy just looking to poke on Sanji. What's being taunted by owgwen. It's just purely pokes here in the mid lane, trying to force out Bren Esports to answer one problem, then another.
Yeah, a 2-level lead gap between the mid laner and the gold laner of Bren Esports. It's not a good sign for Bren. 2 levels is Sanji is above supermarco. That's gonna hit 11 soon enough. And then when we saw when Sanji got hit by the sniper, it took roughly only 25% of his health, so it'll still take time until supermarco has the damage and pheww. Damage now is one of the main problems of Bren Esports, but they have strong counter capabilities. If Bren Esports can sustain and fight the team fight well enough for kyletzy to come in and clean up house with a nice shadow kill, chasing everyone with the marks, with the shurikens, that'll be the scenario that Bren Esports will be looking for.
Now the big question is, when will Bren be actually ready to fight? Because I am not seeing that anytime soon. But they have to. They have to contest objectives like this.
It'll be close to a miracle if Bren Esports can pull it off with the low gold gap that Bren Echo has over them.
Oh, flaptzy being in the middle of everyone. pheww is trying to spot it also as well. flaptzy on to...
There it is.
Grabbing Yaoi.
Could be the go signal, but flaptzy decides, nope, it's not the time. Let's give up that Lord, let's take a turret on bottom, and let's see if we can survive the next few minutes.
Oh, pheww. Forced out to flicker from him. owgwen as well, just looking for information, but Echo eyes on the mid turret of Bren Esports. Broken down, there's a push up top. supermarco is leaning towards a winning investment for damage heading into mid-game.
Wow, Bren Esports backs against the wall. I agree with you, Rockart. Not anytime soon can Bren Esports find a way to turn this around. 5 to 7 minutes more, maybe. Right now, look at Echo.
Clock is ticking. Echo, they're looking really, really angry once more, just boxing everyone out of that purple buff. Again, depriving the Hayabusa of that much-needed energy regeneration.
Getting closer in the turret. kyletzy almost half HP. And they can't even go in front of Echo right now.
And Echo, they're also being very careful, right? They're careful to just not give anything to Bren while all of this is happening.
Yeah, Sky Guardian Helmet as well as in for kyletzy. There's so much time to soak up damage, but look at that, being taunted by Flap there. Going near.
This could be
Yaoi.
it. flaptzy is going to be locked against the wall, even though they are locked down. With that Numenon blast is enough to take out Sanji at least. But supermarco on the back foot will get taken out by Carl. What a long sword you have right there. And that looks like it's going to be enough for Echo to at least eke out some advantages. It's a 4v3 around the Lord area, or around the area. And then guilty for free from downtown.
The butterfly!
It was just a butterfly ended the life.
The butterfly effect full on in the land of dawn. kyletzy, he's going insane right now. Echo, what are you doing? There's a tower still. They're still fighting under it.
No, they're not wasting any seconds. We're going low.
Oh, there it is. And at the end, the choo-choo has to make a pit stop as Echo just got whittled down. I think the biggest damage dealer there was the turret.
Yeah. With how long Echo was standing under there, as Flap and Carl continue to hug it out. pheww and supermarco nearby. How long is this glue ultimate? He's been there for like, what, 30 seconds?
That's like the third time, and they're just going in non-stop. This time around, it's the Bees for the revenge play. Kyletzy on the side. He's trying to look for an opening, but will decide to back off for now.
Oh man, Echo.
Oh my goodness.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a Benny Cutie. But they overstayed their welcome under the turret of Bren, giving Bren an opportunity to get a second wind. It wasn't the big breath of fresh air they were looking for, but it's enough oxygen to give Bren a second life.
It was something at least,
It
right?
was something.
It was good. It was good for Bren Esports. And that butterfly, that's one thing that scares me now. How did it manage to just end the life of that 3/4 of an HP?
This is why ever since I was a child, I've been scared of butterflies.
I don't want to get near close to any of the butterflies there. But in this game, you don't want to be near Benny Cutie right now. And on to the damage, they need to be secured in how they can solve this defense. But on the other hand, Echo, kyletzy secures the Lord.
That's an interesting decision there, because at the very least, I would think kyletzy would try to steal it with something, but he decides to just wait that out,
gets caught out.
and he will get caught out in the end by Echo, and that is a 4v5 for the next 36 seconds.
Controlled was the ninja. Hayabusa falls. Divine Glaive already on the hands of Benny Cutie, picked up during that Lord take. And right now, Echo can just continue this. I will be surprised if Bren holds on, but Bren Esports showed yesterday that they have the ability to. The question is, in this game, in this scenario, do they have the lineup to replicate that the lead Echo has? It's sketchy, but it's possible.
Yeah, kyletzy, he's actually between enemy lines, or behind enemy lines rather, but he is fighting it out. He's trying to clear some minions on the side, with flaptzy actually being put very low by Benny Cutie as well. No minions available on the bottom and the middle. It's the top with a Lord push.
kyletzy holding that siege minion, allowing Echo to maybe break the mid turret, but no, Bren Esports still gets to clear the minion waves. Look at Carl, the enforcer right now for Echo.
He needs that siren. He's just going boom, 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 and that's able to actually clear it in time. Oh, the slow from Sanji is massive. Forces so many flickers out of Bren Esports.
Amazing placement of the Void Crystal, but now they're outside. Benny Cutie's on the bush. Nobody spotted him. Oh, kyletzy smelled something out of that.
The much-needed takedown on Benny Cutie. Finally, Bren Esports, they're getting something. They're able to do a sort of offensive against Echo. Even Sanford will fall with the help of pheww.
Bren are finding a turnaround. A snipe, a super snipe from Marco.
Did Echo overstay their welcome? Being on the brink and destroying the base of Bren Esports, the Bees, the Hive, they're alive right now. They're pushing at the base of Echo.
pheww's clutch gene, the Hall of Legend inductee. Coming up big for Bren, the save onto supermarco. And of course, Kylen and Profilen is the jungler of Bren Esports, finding Benny Cutie in the right shrub with his own shadow. He tossed out the shadow, and it just found the perfect angle to get into the shrub, to get vision. He went in, he checked, he found Benny. Echo's game plan there hinged on Benny Cutie being able to get his combo off as the Lunox. kyletzy stopped that.
Amazing performance onto pheww, our two-time Philippine representative for the MLBBID division for the Southeast Asian Games. Now they're on a roll to bounce back up against the world champs, flaptzy. Grabs one on Sanford. kyletzy though.
They're looking for Sanji. I think Sanji looks like he is the one that you need to target if you're Bren Esports. He might be the key to Bren's survival, as they are going for that Lord, and it's Benny Cutie's Lord this time around. Sanji with the real world will be slowed down and stifled by owgwen, but that will not be enough to actually take him out.
flaptzy trying to channel in one member to go down with Benny Cutie.
Laying out some good damage. There's a darkening. Benny Cutie still got some. Does he have a charge? Does he have a light charge? No, he doesn't. He goes down.
A good grab there onto owgwen. the Stampede, and now they're pushing back Echo back to base.
This is the problem with the Echo lineup. It's good for early to mid if you snowball, but how can you end without a marksman? You need to wipe out Bren Esports, or at least take away all of their major minion wave clears. Echo, it's a tough task. It's a tall order.
It's so hard to push.
It's hard to push. It's hard to end, and Bren Esports feels it. That's why they're confident, but Flap might get caught out in mid.
Oh, behind enemy lines. That's 3 reinforcing Bren Esports. Owgwen at the back though.
Sanji's actually quite low. Owgwen spots this out. Does he have the Numenon Blast? He does. He gets it ready. He waits for his target, but Echo will fall back for now.
And just as that, Bren Esports got the lead back on their own hands.
The turnaround. A good read by Bren. Tremendous multiple reads to acknowledge that Echo overstayed their welcome multiple times, trying to break down turrets, base turrets on the side of Bren Esports. And Bren Esports responded accordingly and properly.
Oh no. With all of you guys discuss on how Echo's lineup in the late game could mean their own destruction of their own composition, they need to have a good target on who's going to be taken away from Bren Esports right now. But most of them is slippery and has one way of escaping and engaging one or the other. Pheww, on the other hand, even on the gold, kyletzy and supermarco are back on 1 and 2 by just looking at their earnings right now on the draft.
Bren Esports, they just need to keep this up. Understand that they do not have a marksman to face. Benny Cutie, when the darkening is gone from that Lunox, they can fight, and they should fight. At this point, they've been able to build up enough items to handle the damage that kyletzy and Sanford, Benny and Sanji can dish out. They just need to play their cards right. kyletzy needs to continue to be patient with his entries. Be the sweeper for Bren. But don't forget to provide space as well for Supermarco, because Sanford has been on a mission to hunting him down.
Patience, pace is what Echo needs right now on how this turnaround for Bren Esports is going for. So now they're just eyeing on who is going to be isolated out of this map. But so far, this Lord will dictate on who's going to push.
At the very least, Echo has been consistent, right? Every time the Lord is up, every time there's an objective up on the map, they want to take it. But it's starting to look like this time around, Bren might be able to at least get some territory, not outright contest the objective, but maybe they can try to go for a steal. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because right now kyletzy's quite far away.
Yeah, he got info though. Bren Esports know where Yawi and Benny Cutie are. kyletzy's shadow provided that for Bren.
Okay, they see Flap. Where is the rest of Bren Esports? That's a big question on the minds of the Echo squad. And they are here with Conceal on the side. The Lord is pretty much on the Bren territory. Oh, it's going to take the 50-50 though. Benny Q's on the back. He's getting ready to bounce. Snipes up Supermarco. Getting ready to see if he can do it with the retribution, but no. Echo, they're done. They're done giving space. The real world is down. The Lolita's Numenon Blast is up. And there goes Yawi, trying to look for kyletzy, but he's going to get the Lord, as you can see.
Kylen and Profilen, the superstar young jungler of Bren Esports, does it again. Kyle against Carl, and he got it. And that was set up beautifully by Echo, but the angles that a Hayabusa can enter through. Retribution at the exact same time in our eyes, but the microseconds. I wish we could see and count the code of the game itself, but we can't. All we can see is that Bren Esports might be on their way to a turnaround and a Game 2 win.
Oh, the Lord now has destroyed the last turret of Echo. The patience, that's the Shadow Hill connect on to Sanford. Bren Esports is finding a way to end this game, but just by looking at that Lord 5, they were so patient on who is going to make the first step, on who is going to make the first ultimate being used up. Now Echo is on the defense, Bren is on the lead.
There's Sanji. He's providing maximum control.
Pheww.
He's trying to take out pheww. Call Ultra will be activated just in time. Supermarco is actually pretty far away. He's trying to look for targets to snipe out. Kyletzy up front. Bren's rat goes down. Pheww still survives. Kyletzy on the immortality. And here comes Betty Cutie. Going non-stop right now. Sanji's still alive as well. It's a brawl fest, everybody. Everyone is on the ground. Betty Cutie is actually super low, and he will also go down.
The Bees are not stopping yet. Flaptzy is on the base. Yowi's on low. Sanford as well on half HP on the regen. But 3 members of Bren Esports are eyeing to push in. 2 minions, 3. Still gonna push through, but no, they're not gonna push once again. Retreat back to the base. A reset is about to happen once again.
Wow, just when we thought that looked really good for Bren Esports, flaptzy was so disruptive in that fight. Almost single-handedly ended Echo, serving up Echo for Bren, but Echo responded really well. Sanji needs to be commended with his positioning, the damage coming out of this Eve. Only a Divine Glaive, Glowing Wand, and Ice Queen Wand as his main items. Wow.
If Sanji was even, he slipped up a little bit there,
Yeah.
that might have been it for Echo. He was able to keep it together and keep Echo back, or keep Bren back rather, long enough for his teammates to survive.
And just by looking at the items here of Supermarco, he opted for that Wind Chant and also the Athena Shield, not going for a full damage build here. Something tells me they might go for a swapperoo of the items as this
By the way,
game's longer.
Queen Swings actually was picked up here by Kyletzy. So it gets a little bit more cooldown reduction, a little bit more HP, spell vamp, a little bit more regen for him.
Bren is actually drawing this out quite a long time now. We're at 24 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and this is where they will shine. But right now, Echo are just executing so well that the lineup with a marksman and a high-profile assassin is making it work.
It's a 5-man brawl once more, but this time around, it is going to be a little bit haphazard. There's owgwen. He catches Kyletzy on the back, but look at the top side of the map, man. Supermarco getting work done.
And now it's not stopping yet. Betty Cutie trying to balance out up against 3. Will the butterfly make it work again? Immortality has been popped.
Betty with a 1v3.
He's still living.
He's surviving.
Pheww survived. How did Pheww survive? With a sliver of health.
Barely made it out, and because of that, Bren Esports might be in a prime position to take the Lord and maybe end this game.
Oh, man. The moves and grooves. This is similar to what happened to them in the regular season, but with different heroes. It was Hayabusa and Link then. Now it's a Hayabusa and a Frederick. Bren Esports, will they complete the comeback?
Oh, no damage.
He's going for it. He's going straight for the man himself, the GOAT himself. Sanford's trying to hold on for dear life. And there's a free-man Numinal Blast. That secures the damage from Bren Esports and pushes this game to game number 3, 1-1.
Bren ties it up after being dominated for majority of the early to mid game. They punished the multiple overstays of Echo and complete the comeback.
This is